What up, guys? Alchemist, and I got something nice for you. So today we are building the notorious Hammer Bonk Build for Titans. But before we continue, shout out to today's sponsor, Deviant.net. Guardians, I would like to recommend you all a great service the Traveler blessed us with, Deviant.net. Here, you can find a team to complete different activities for you, like raids, dungeons, trials, exotics that you don't have, and even power grind. No longer do you have to torture yourself with grind level torture. You can give it to somebody else. You can torture somebody else with it, okay? All the services can be done without account sharing. So no worries about securing your account and having to give away your login information. To order a service like that, all you have to do is talk to an operator in the bottom right corner where it says chat and schedule a self-play appointment with your order. The website has been working for a long time. It has a lot of players, reviews, and payment methods. You can check out everything yourself, and with the promo code AlchemistKirito, you will have a 15% off discount on all services. If you have any further questions, just ask the operator in the bottom right corner. What you waiting for? Get help from Deviant.net today. So, in case you're one of the Titans out there that believe y'all only have consecration as y'all main build, don't know why. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't seen any Titans running consecration since Edge of Fate came out. I truly don't even think that's y'all meta anymore, since ignitions don't get buffed up by anything. So today we're making the Hammer Bonk build, where basically you use the Worm God Caress exotic. Go figure, right? I don't know why some Titans out there hate that y'all are the melee class. Like, I think it's pretty cool. At least y'all have different ways to melee. Hunters, that's all. We only got one way to melee, and that's combination blow. But y'all got everything like built around it, which is so cool to me. So Worm God Caress buffs up y'all damage, making y'all do insane damage while y'all have max stacks of it. Y'all already know that. And it buffs up y'all weapon damage. And I'll throw the percentages and stuff on the screen. And we will be pairing this with the exotic Bastion today. Bastion make it that when you, it's like it got the juiced up version of 1-2 punch. So instead of it buffing up our melee damage by 150%, Bastion buffs up our melee damage by 300%. And any melee kills we get buffs up Bastion damage by 45%, I believe. So it just goes perfect for melee builds in Tangent, okay? That's the only weapon you really need for this build. I'm using Lotus Eater in my build just for the repulsor brace destabilizing round combo. Not only avoid overshield, just very good and give damage resistance for the solar builds out there, but also too, because of shield crush in the artifact, as long as we have frost armor, void overshield, or weapon mail, and increase our melee damage and recharge rate. So I wanted to increase our melee damage by having a void overshield on from Lotus Eater. You can use any void weapon that got, you know, repulsor brace to destabilize rounds on it. I just wanted to use Lotus Eater because it's strong. But other than that, the other stuff you want in the artifact is probably like nothing. I'm gonna be honest, there's really nothing in the artifact because you don't need radiant, because you're gonna be getting radiant all day if you're throwing your hammer. And yeah, so everything else in the artifact is truly up to you. Okay, you can't take advantage of that fresh bullet smell and light force lead so that you can increase the damage of your kinetic weapons, aka Bastion. But other than that, yeah, there's no artifact stuff you're required to use. You can use whatever artifact perks you want to use in this build. Okay, now the stats you want to go for, you're going for 200 melee stat no matter what. Okay, 200 melee stat, whether you use a font or you got 200 in general. But I would say I prefer you having 200 melee stat in this build in general, okay, because of the armor mods we have for this build. But we'll get to that. Subclass, your super can be whatever you want. This build is so good, it's very versatile. So this, I don't understand why people think Titans don't have that many builds out there. Y'all have a broken build on every subclass. It's actually kind of insane. I've been enjoying, and I'm a new Titan user, and it's very fun. And yeah, but you can use whatever solar super you want in this build, Burning Maw or Hammer Souls, up to you. Rally Barricade, of course. You will be using Throwing Hammer in this build. That's the whole point of the build, throwing your hammer non-stop. The Throwing Hammer got 2 unique traits to it. One, When you throw your hammer, it will be laying on the ground, and if you go pick up your hammer, you automatically get your full melee your melee back. Okay, so literally you can infinitely throw this at a boss or an enemy, and as the hammer bounce off of the enemy body, if you close up to the enemy, it will just go right back to you immediately, and you can just keep spamming the melee button and just keep chucking your hammer at them. But you also can, if you're good, you can chuck your hammer from a far distance and still, you know, just go pick it up after you do it, because it will most likely one-shot the enemy. Cool thing too, the hammer can also get precision headshots, which is kind of crazy. But the second unique thing about the hammer is when you pick it up off the ground, you get cured. So every time you pick up your hammer, you'll get cured, and cure gives you like a little moment of invincibility frame when you do get that chunk of health. So literally, as long as you're on a boss or an enemy and you just keep chucking your hammer at them, you're most likely not going to die if you keep picking up your hammer while you're in that cycle. Okay, your grenade can be whatever you want it to be. Aspects: roaring flame, very important. Roaring flame, making that final blows with solar abilities or ignitions increase the damage of your solar abilities. I believe it's bugged right now for the ignitions part, or Bungie just fixed it. Is one of the two. But the ignitions wasn't giving stacks for roaring flame, but I think it's fixed now. I don't know. I remember it being in the patch notes. But final blows with solar abilities give you stacks of roaring flame, and roaring flames increase your melee damage of your solar abilities damage. The melee damage increase, I'll put the percentage on the screen if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the melee damage increase is 200%. And then your grenade and super be increased by like, I think it was like 73%. So yeah, roaring flame very important. And then also the thing that the game don't tell you is, while you have stacks of roaring flames on, it's just like knockout and I think it's called Bastion on Void. With roaring flame is on, all your uncharged melees become powered melees. It becomes solar powered melees. Okay, so once you get one hammer kill, you don't even have to become a hammer thrower anymore. The hammer do more damage, but you don't have to be a hammer thrower anymore. Once you get one stack of roaring flames, your regular melee becomes a power melee, and you can literally run around punching enemies regular, one-shotting them, because you will be getting a 200% from roaring flames to your melee damage. So, and then you stack that with Worm God Caress, and yeah, you're just running around just punching people, making sunspots, and yes, very deadly. We got Soul Invictus on, which give you the sunspots, and basically while you're inside the sunspot, again, it says solar ability final blows, your unpowered melees become powered solar melee, so they become solar abilities now. So as long as you got one stack of roaring flame, okay, your hammer soul and defeating scorched enemies make sunspots. Your power melee does scorch now with roaring flame on, so you'll be making sunspots like you see in the gameplay footage. You'll be making sunspots with every melee kill you get. While you're inside a sunspot, your abilities recharge faster, your super drain more slower, and sunspots give us restoration as well. And it scorch enemies that's inside it. But we mostly here for the restoration part, so that we can have survivability in this build. Fragments. Ember of Empyrean, so your solo weapons or abilities extend the duration of Radiant and Restoration. Again, your regular melees are considered solar abilities now. So literally you just punching enemies will be keeping the uptime on your Restoration and Radiant. We got Soulless on, so that the Radiant and Restoration have a longer timer, longer durations to them. We got on Ember of Torches. Power melee attacks give us Radiant. Again, your unpowered melees will be power melees now. And then we have Ember of Mercy on, so we pick up a Fire Sprite, it'll give us Restoration. So it'll continue the restoration we already have on, or it'll start the chain for us. This is a free slot though. You can literally change this to whatever mod you think you want to throw in your kit. I just couldn't think of anything that you can really like replace this with. Maybe Sinjin, since you will be scorching everybody, so you have your class ability up on you non-stop, but you're really not going to be using your class ability. So again, this is an open slot. You can put whatever you want on in that last fragment slot. Okay, now armor mods. Armor mods, because I'm running double special, I'm running 2 special ammo finders. If you're not running double special, you can change one of these special ammo finders to hands on. Again, all your uncharged melee is going to be considered power melees. So you can get your super back quick in this build using that strat. I just don't care for the super in this build because our melee is doing the most of the damage. We don't need our super, okay? Especially with the Bastion combo. Our melee is doing the DPS, okay? So I had no reason on trying to get my super back quick in this build for solar, okay? I may have a different idea for solar, but as of right now, for this build, we don't need it. Arm piece, we got on 3 heavy-handed because we will be doing power melees non-stop, whether we throwing the hammer or punching people. I'm trying to get this fact out there because they don't tell you in the game, and I need people to know this, okay? Very important. So because of the Roaring Flames making our uncharged melees power melees, every melee kill we do, once we have that buff on us, which all it takes is 1 solar ability kill, which is throwing your hammer. Once you have that on, every melee you do will make an orb of power. This is important in this build because orb power not only will give us our health, because again, solar have no damage resistance, but we're giving it damage resistance. And I'm not talking about the Void Overshield. You want to make sure you have on the 2-piece smoke jumper set. Ride together, die together. This gives you on average a 30% damage reduction. It start off at 45%, and then as timer go down, so it go to 15%. So on average, that's 30% damage reduction. Okay, quick math. So with heavy-handed on, this is a melee build. As long as we keep meleeing people and picking up the orb power off the ground, well, it's gonna automatically go into us because we punch people. Every time we punch somebody, we will be having that damage resistance on, and we're gonna be having restoration because it's gonna make a sunspot wherever we stand. So now restoration gonna be on. We're gonna have that damage resistance, and every time we pick up orb power, we get a chunk of health because with melee builds, you tend to have a high health stat. We literally have over 100 health in this build because of us having all the brawler sets on. So this is very key in this build for survivability and harder in content. Chest piece, you have your resist mods on, especially melee damage resistance, since you're always going to be 5 meters within enemies range, so this makes they take less damage. I have on a void ammo generation, but you can change that to a resist mod if you're not, you know, using double special. I'm using void weapon surge in my lead piece because again, I'm using double special, but I also have scavenger mods, kinetic scavenger and void scavenger, so I have more ammo for Bastion and my Lotus Eater. But again, if you're not running double special, you don't need that. And class item can be whatever you want it to be, okay? I usually just do Reaper, Time Dilation, Powerful together. But again, you're really going to be able to use your class ability in this build. You're just going to be throwing your hammer and punching people non-stop, destroying everything, okay? This build is meta. I just wanted to put it out there in case people forgot about it. It was strong before Edge of Fate came out, and it got even stronger once Edge of Fate came out, okay? And some people probably forgot about it, but it's still up there in the meta and still one of the best Titan builds out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this build. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up.